I apologize for the wind, guys. We're out here in the back 40. Log hauler Jesse's coming. Now these big logs on his truck aren't for me. He's got some mats, and we're just going to fix and make better the skidways for me to move these logs. We had a big dip in the weather. It is cold, and here's these mats. We're gonna lay these down for the skidway for the logs to lay on top of. That's our project today. We'll get a good conversation with log hauler Jesse. It's freezing out here, man. This is a skidway. There's timbers that these logs are laying on top of. This next pile, we didn't have the opportunity to do that. These are just laying on the ground, so I can't drive my tractor off and grab these logs and bring them back on. So Jesse has extra mats. We are going to lay them and create a skidway at the very end of our road, and we're going to make two. He's going to lay these logs on top of the next one, and then we're going to build another one coming back this way. Those big logs that you saw on his truck are going to the mill. He was bringing those from a site up by Lake Erie. His truck wasn't full, and so he had a chance to add these mats to them. Oh, these are nice ones too, man.
All right, on the way at the end?
Yeah, that looks great. So this is how we're going to do it, guys. We have found if we lay two of them down side by side, that's enough to lay the logs on top of, and he can keep them centered. I'm able to get my tractor off of the timbers and onto the skidway to move these logs. So those are the ones that were left over from that last pile, and I can get those. Now I can drive onto the skidway and get these put onto my machine. All right, so now Jesse is lifting his outriggers, and he is going to pull forward, and we're going to make another one. How you doing, Jesse?
Got my sporting glasses.
Yeah, you look great. If you are wondering too, guys, I am paying Jesse to do this. You know, he still has a business to run, and believe it or not, there is a market for these mats, and people inquire of them, and Jesse adds that to his route, and he is able to make money hauling. I think in this case here with Jesse, this makes it nicer for him to, when he's coming home at the end of the day, he can bring these mats down, and I'm paying him to do it, so he's making money and paying for his fuel. All right, so where I'm standing is in the danger zone, so I'm going to back out of here, and he's going to lay these mats down, and then we're going to move these logs over to here. All right, well, this one looks nice. Oh my gosh, those are heavy. Now, of course, there's a gap here, and you know, my little tractor tires can be affected by that, and that's where I'm going to fill all these holes in with wood scrap, and that's good enough for those tractor tires. You know, I don't want to become mushy on everyone here, but you know, as this kind of stuff progresses with my wood yard, it just makes me realize how far I have come. I've looked at some of my older videos just really over a year ago, and I look at how much wood I had on site, how much wood I had to sell. You know, this road didn't exist, and in just one short year, here we go. I have always thought that the appeal to this channel is, you know, just a small-time guy selling firewood, but I'm not that small service anymore. I've grown. I've gotten bigger. I've reinvested in the company, and while I am still what I wouldn't call, you know, like a major producer, I've come quite a distance. I have. You know, hiring Jesse to do this kind of stuff takes money, obviously, and you know, that's money that I would not want to spend, but I have a cushion now from putting money in the bank from my firewood sales. I'm able to do stuff like this. So spending a couple bucks to get this project done, it makes me more productive. It makes it easier on the loggers to lay these logs down. What I had learned is when the logger calls, the answer is yes, I'll take the logs. And I had run out of space with my skidways. I didn't have enough of them, so they were just laying them on the ground. Now in the summertime, that's fine, because I can come around the back side and move them with the tractor. But now the fall, the winter, the ground is soft. You know, we get snow. I can't get there anymore. These skidways will fix that problem. And these are nice looking logs. I just haven't been able to get to them. Here's our skidway. And these are just a really nice distance right to the live deck. These down here, I've been driving quite a way, and it's kind of a rough path for my tractor to take. So I have to go slow, and I don't carry heavy loads. Looking good. I also get a lot of questions. Joe, what's your plan? Where are you going to be in 5 years or 10 years? And my refrain is, I don't know. I really don't. I have an idea in my head. I think in a perfect world, I would continue this growth. I would be able to move to a more industrial site, you know, the big expanse of hard-packed gravel or concrete, where I don't have to worry about mud. I don't have to worry about these trucks getting in and out in bad weather. That is what I see. Will it happen? I don't know. I'm just enjoying the journey as I go along. I had a recent viewer send me an email and was inquiring of my business plan. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, and you're probably the same too. You might have had a business idea, you know, years ago, and you wrote it all out and you had this beautiful plan. I got a bunch of business plans that the business never got started. I have one business and it doesn't have a business plan. I really do think, especially in firewood, because I've said this before, it is easy to sell firewood. If you just sell your firewood, you're in business. It's easy. Do you need an articulated business plan? I guess it wouldn't hurt, but don't use that as an excuse to not do something. What I did differently with Ohio Wood Burner is that I took action. You know, I got it going. I just said I'm going to do it, and here I go. I really do think if you can balance your checkbook, you can run a business. And don't let, you know, formalities, terminology used in the business world scare you off. You know, I had the one guy ask me, Joe, what is your cost of goods delivered? I don't know. I don't know what it is. I didn't know what cost of, you know, what's the formula? How do I calculate that? Once he told me, I was like, well, I can get you that number, but, you know, I know that I'm making money. I know that my profit margin is pretty darn good. And being able to do stuff like that, you know, tells me that I'm on the right path. But don't get lost in the weeds, guys. If you have a side hustle, if you're serious about it, if you want to give it a shot, then start doing it, you know? My advice to the one gentleman was go buy a cord of firewood and then resell it for double. You are now in business. You know, I'm serious. You don't even need a chainsaw or a truck to sell firewood. If you are serious about it, you can make it happen. And I am the perfect example of that. I had a 22-year plus corporate hack job. I picked up skills along the way, all right, but I'm not a business mind. I'm not formally schooled in business. I don't understand the words and the terminology, but I didn't let that scare me off. I have things that I know that I'm good at. I also have things that I know that I'm not good at. And I also know that I have things that I don't do at all. This is the big plan. We got skidway 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're gonna add one more down here. If you notice on the other side of our timber road, that is the high ground where the clay was laid down from the driveway build. So I don't need these timbers on that side because I can just drive right off the side. The ground is flush with the timbers over here. So log hauler Jesse is now going to pull up and we're going to make our final skidway right here. What at? Well, you ruined that shot. Okay, our last skidway. Jesse's climbing up on this frigid Northeast Ohio day. The one, they got, you know, this perfect edge. Those are the ones that everyone's looking for. They're still in pretty good shape. And that also helps me drive on and off with my tractor. Look at that. This guy is the master, isn't he? Where are your gloves at?
In the truck.
Jeez whiz. Jesse,
Yes.
very good job building the skidways. Our viewers are really going to be interested in these giant logs. This looks to be a massive white oak.
Yeah.
And we got some ash on here too. You do not just deliver firewood poles and drive back and forth to my wood yard, right? You're in business. And what you're looking at, guys, is this is how Jesse makes money. So this is a job. You're hauling logs for someone. Is that right?
Yeah, he gets them. I clean them up. It's a tree service, and when they have decent stuff, I go up there and really pick them up, trim them down. Some of this stuff's blocking. It's a mixed load, so you know, when I was looking for a job when I found this one, so when I sit in the truck, I don't just sit there and think of nothing. I just think of ways to make more money, different jobs.
What is in the future of these logs? What are they destined for?
Well, there's ash. These are definitely saw logs. They're starting to stain a little bit because they sat a little bit, so you don't want them to go too long. But most of them are saw logs.
What do you mean by saw log?
They'll be grade 1 or 2.
These will be made into lumber or boards?
Boards.
Okay.
So white oak's a pretty good paying log regardless. White oak, black walnut. Red oak's dropped kind of on its face for the price, but white oak and black walnut usually hold their price. Per board foot, I really don't know. I usually go and find out when I drop it off at the mill because it's always up and down.
All right. What about these giant ash logs?
Yeah, those will be saw logs too. The ones with more branches and stuff might just end up being blocking or.
And what do you mean by blocking?
Well, they make tie logs out of it for railroad ties, and then they make material to make pallets.
Okay.
So that's what blocking turns into. Is usually they cut it down into, I think it's 3x5s, and then they can send it to a blocking mill. They'll run it through and cut it down into the slats and the runners, and then they put them together.
Okay. Your job really is just to haul these logs from point A to point B. Yes. You don't really care who they're selling it to, what their deal is. That's none of your business.
Well, these ones I had bought.
You bought these logs?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a deal with the guy. I go through his pile and try to find stuff that doesn't have metal in it. And he's pretty good about bringing out the stuff. The most of it goes to the chipper.
Okay.
So it's just occasionally he'll call me, I go up there, see what he has, and then I got to bring it back or trim it there. And yesterday it just worked out. I didn't have my gas for my saw, so I just brought it home.
All right. So a log hauler, and this is simply because you have skills and knowledge now where you're comfortable making a deal like this, right?
Yeah.
Until
I screw up.
Yeah, because you could get burnt in this, like if one of the logs is rotted or it's full of lead bullets or nails and all.
Yeah.
Okay. So
that's part of being self-employed. It's a gamble every day.
Yeah, I bet. And these are some big logs, guys.
Yeah,
these
the biggest thing when you take stuff to the mill. I mean, if it has size, they'll definitely give you a better price. But if you had a truckload of stuff that's that size or smaller, your yield on what they're going to pay is going to be less because there's so much more material they have to trim off to get to the saw logs. You're going to have to make the boards.
All right, and then you can be strategic about when you even pick these up, right?
Yeah.
You don't have. They can sit there until you're on a run in the general area.
See, I didn't know this was there because I know this is a decent paying log, so they'll stain and then they'll deduct on that. Because then the boards just be stained. But no, it's one of those things I kind of fell into, and whenever he calls, I try to get out there, but I've been supposed to be out there for almost a month, and I finally made it yesterday. So It's one of those. I haven't had a lot of work because of the weather, and in general, it just worked out. And I had to drop yours off, and I'm heading that direction, so might as well make 2 trips into one.
Jesse, I just want to point out one thing. It is fortunate that I have very high self-esteem because you absolutely stole my thunder at the Paul Bunyan show. People would come up to me, and I would say, hi there, and they were like, no, where's Log Hauler Jesse? Where's Jesse at? They would say, hey, Joe, hey, where's Jesse? You were a very popular guy at the Paul Bunyan show.
Yeah, it was nice to meet everybody. It was pretty cool to get out of the truck and talk to new people. It's nice.
Yeah, I really do think people, they appreciate your lifestyle, being a sole proprietor, owner, operator.
Yeah.
And seeing, we followed Jesse along the path of him building this truck.
Yeah.
And
I built the Mac first. That's what I think got all the notoriety.
Hey, that's right.
My yellow Mac blowing black smoke.
And everyone just loved that truck. And you said the only reason they love it is because
they haven't driven it.
They're not driving it.
It hurts.
Yeah. All right, well, we need to let Jesse get out of here, and I need to go tend to this frostbit hand of mine here. My finger is numb. It's so cold out here. Yeah. Everyone, if you got a question for Jesse, put it in the comments because he reads them.
Oh, yeah, I try to read them as much as I can, but I am kind of busy. So.
Yeah, And I guess that's it. You need to get out of here.
Yeah, it's time to move on to the next one.
All right, guys. Everyone, have a great day.